Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Clayton. I am an intuitive, a spiritual leader of and founder of the Inner Leader Movement. And I like to say the description about how I communicate with angels is an angel alchemist, because there's several different beautiful light beings that the angels bring forth for us to receive information and guidance with, especially during this time on earth. But I wanted to hop on here today because I had a few comments about, well, what is the inner leader movement and what is it that we should be focusing on with our inner leader? And so I think those are really good questions. And since we are going to be using YouTube as our only communication channel out into the internet. This is a prime opportunity for me to pop on here and give you a little bit more information about the inner leader movement and how you can trust the inner leader within you. And I think that's really super important right now because our intuitive channels are being highlighted right now. All of the gifts that we have being intuitive, everyone's intuitive. I've had a gift with being able to communicate with angels since I was 6 years old. But there was other aspects, there's other channels of my intuitive intelligence that I was able to tap into. Also, it made me a very successful corporate trainer for many decades because I could read the group. I could sense what people were feeling. I could tune in to events that were going to happen that hadn't happened yet. I guess that's called psychic, right? The psychic abilities. I've always just called it using my intuitive intelligence. And there were times when I refused it, and there were times when guided by it, it created uncomfortable changes in my life, yet with the greatest rewards. And so after my last corporate contract ended, I decided to establish a process of learning of how to evolve. My background is teaching and learning tools, developing learning tools. So I started out as a fourth, fifth, sixth grade teacher and became a textbook writer, consultant, and creating ancillaries and applications for teachers to use to make learning more exciting and fun. And then I went into being a corporate trainer in soft skills, so leadership, customer service, diversity and inclusion, and a lot of the human development skills. I started a company called Source Potential back in 1999 and worked with corporations in training trainers and delivering training programs, developing training programs. But my gift is application. My gift is application tools, or the how to apply whatever you are learning, or even how to learn. And so it was in 2016, beginning of 2017, when my last corporate contract ended, I said, okay, I'm taking the big deep dive in to my intuitive business, into the spiritual part of what is so important for all of us to use as we navigate through these unsettling times where all the old systems are breaking down, and all the new is emerging. So I tapped in with my angels and they said, well, we've got a whole group of resources here. So please refer to those as the Cosmic Collective. And so some people say, oh, I channel with Archangel Michael, or I channel with this group, or this is what my group is called. It's kind of like a big, huge audience for us in the inner leader. They're just a big, huge collective of resources in the soul light world. So the angels are like the gatekeepers. So I tune into them first, and then they open up gateways to other information, help our souls travel to different dimensions to receive information that we already know, but we haven't experienced yet. And we call that the ancient wisdom within us. And really what the inner leader movement is, it's an evolutionary process of connecting with the above resources, your within resources, which is your heart's intuitive intelligence and your soul's wisdom, and then the earth below's resources, which is how you are contributing in this world, whether it's a mother, a stay-at-home mother, or whether you're a career person. It doesn't matter. It's the service. It's how you are contributing to the earth at this time. And we want to go beyond what work is. It's in it like a service mode. So if you're in a corporate position, what is the service? How are you delivering this heart of yours and your intuitive intelligence and the wisdom that you possess, the talent, the gifts? That's one aspect of Earth Below. The other aspect of Earth Below is connecting in our body intelligence as a nature spirit being with nature and with the nature spirit beings that we communicate with. I have a very intuitive little miniature schnauzer named Indigo Mystic. She's been with me for 11 years, and she is one of my greatest teachers. The tree spirits are some of my greatest teachers, and I get information from them. The animal spirits, bird spirits, flower spirits, all the nature world wonders is included in the earth below to really activate and anchor into our intuitive knowing, that where we get our greatest fuel. Our philosophy is that the soul that is riding within this human vessel has many different dimensions. So there's just a part of the soul that's riding within us, and we can access those other dimensional resources by connection. And the soul, through my soul studies with Dr. Carol Reitberger, the soul wants three things from us as a human being: connection, satisfaction, and security. And security is different than what we define it as a human being. Security really is self-cure, in allowing the information to come out that we've been holding back on, or that we told that we were crazy, or that we said that, or that people were saying, don't say that, or why do you, where did you get that information? Did you, show it, prove it to me? It's intuitive knowing. So we have an evolutionary process that we work with. I have a set of practitioners that apply this to their jobs. They're in several different types of jobs and work service areas. Some have their own business. Some are contributing to a company or an organization. Some are contributing to government institutions, real estate, a wide range that our practitioners are applying their intuitive intelligence and soul wisdom to. And how do we get there? So we work with the circuitry of three different aspects of AWE, the awe of evolutionary process. So the above resources, energy and consciousness; the within resources, energy, resources, and consciousness; and the earth below, energy, resources, and consciousness. I have learned through my experiences on Earth at this time, and I have several decades behind me at this point, that when you focus on one of those more than the other, then it becomes very unbalanced and uncomfortable. So I've been in spiritual communities that only focused on the above and said, well, I'm just going to let this go and let it be. And yes, we do need to do that, but we also need to have the heart coherence and the neutrality to receive the information. So I'm a heart math master trainer and coach. And I did that. I actually worked for HeartMath for a few years in training trainers in the HeartMath techniques, which reduce stress and increase coherent waves of calm, clarity, harmony. And that's all on physiology. That's science. And then there's other courses that I've taken on the heart, on intuition and the intuitive knowing And then, of course, I've taken soul exploration courses. So I've taken all of what I have learned and experienced and alchemized it into the inner leader movement. So we actually, when we do sessions, intuitive sessions, or when I do readings, we always start with getting coherent. We always start with the W, the big win in the W of awe, because the angels can't get through the your higher self, your soul's wisdom. You can't even hear it if you're stressed out, and the cortisol levels in your body are just pumping, and it blocks the coherent thinking, the intuitive knowing. So we always start with getting coherent within, and then tapping in to the above, and then applying to the earth below, or receiving more information from the guidance that we get from our intuitive knowing to work more with nature, to be out in nature more, to give back to the earth. I just moved to a beautiful ranch out in the country. I've lived downtown in Half Moon Bay for, oh gosh, what was it, 25, 26 years. And I've moved out to the country, and my contribution to the earth is clearing the land, creating a medicine wheel and a meditation area where we can connect with nature and allow the information from Mother Gaia to come through us and inspire us. All the while, we are listening and receiving guidance from above, that source self, and allowing the coherence within. So, this beautiful evolutionary circuitry stays in balance when we're doing all three: above, within, and earth below. We all know, and then we work with the four domains: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and make sure that those are balanced. We all know people who have just focused on the physical, right? They're totally fit and everything, but mentally and emotionally they're a mess. Or uh, we know people that have worked just mentally on being intellects, but yet they're still not happy with what they're producing, because it's all mind. And then we know people that are focusing all on the emotional, and then people that focus only on the spiritual. And what the guides have taught us, and which I love, is that all of those domains of resiliency, information, and energy and consciousness have to be balanced. So we work constantly on emotional regulation, the clearing the mind, allowing the body to move and to do different to keep the body in good working order, the food, so everything that the body is saying that we need. We really follow body intelligence. If the body says rest, we rest. Okay, and that isn't easy to do when we are programmed to go, 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 do. But lately, gosh, it's probably been the last, since I've moved here. I've been here 19 months now. The body is saying rest, pause, receive, receive, receive. You've been on output for so many years. Now I'm on output still, but not on that pushing through. That push is part of the old paradigm. The allow is the new paradigm. So there's so many cool concepts that we receive from our intuitive intelligence and from our soul's knowing, from our above resources, from our earth below resources, and we alchemize those into this beautiful circuitry flow of connection, creating satisfaction and security in our lives. So there's different ways that we do that. There's different ways that I do intuitive readings. I do oracle readings. If you want to get connected to those, into your intuitive intelligence and your higher self and your guides. Oh, I'll tell you something, that the ancestors are coming in big time right now. The ancestors, it was in 3 or 4 years ago, I did a ceremony in the Redwood Forest on the Day of the Dead, and the ancestors came in and said, Lisa, because I was asked to participate in this ceremony to bring in the angels. And instead, the ancestors came in. And that's, again, connect with the angels. The angels opened up the gateway to the ancestors and said, oh, listen to what they have to say. And they're like, look, we have really working hard on the other side to go from that survival um, strand in our DNA and in um, our consciousness to go from survive to thrive. And what the ancestors are asking us to do now is not only are we healing the old wounds that they carried and that survival consciousness, they're giving us their wisdom. They're activating within us their wisdom. That's really, really fascinating right now, what the ancestors are giving us. So, and we're actually here, at least in the people that I'm working with, we're constantly closing up the old ancestral ties that no longer serve us, of stereotypes, racism. I had a great grandfather, I think it was great great grandfather that was in the Ku Klux Klan. Those type of things were cutting the cords of the injustice or unfairness and allowing that wisdom of their beautiful souls to come through. So I hope that is clear in the what the inner leader movement is, because it is a movement to trust your inner leader. I taught leadership classes for at least 2 or 3 decades in corporate all throughout the world, and the the issue that I always saw in leadership programs that were being taught to executives and managers in corporations is that it didn't have this connection with self, that source self, those beautiful soul gifts and the intuitive intelligence. It was learning how to know people's personalities or their different types of communication. And that's all important. That's all important. And I actually developed a learning process called You, Others, and Process so that people could connect to the training individually for themselves, and then how to relate it to others, and then what's the process for change within the organization. I've always developed those beautiful learning tools. But what I found in doing leadership that I really wanted, when I started Source Potential and I received my first Fortune 500 contract, the 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 president of the company, I actually got to meet the president of the company, and he said, "Lisa, we love what you're bringing forth. I've heard really rave reviews about your work. We just want you to develop the potential of our employees. We don't want you talking about that source thing. That's a fine line on what people consider source." And I'm like, "Well, source is soul." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't want you to talk about that. Just develop the potential." So I was way ahead of my time in 1999 when I brought source potential, right? The potential of your own source self into the corporate world. And so I just adjusted it to a learning model, but I intuitively was able to weave in that learning for people. So that's kind of the background of how I have been designed as a soul to contribute on this earth at this time. And I would invite you to look at our website and the services that we offer. There's going to be a lot more in 2025. The guides are saying, "Lisa, you need to get out there." Okay. You need to show up and be out there and sharing the downloads, sharing the transmissions, doing more group mentorings. I do small groups of 5 to 6 people that we tap into the collective consciousness of intuitive intelligence, body intelligence, and the divine intelligence. Let's see, I do individual intuitive readings and mentoring. And then there's going to be some really cool workshops. I don't even want to call them workshops because I'm always creating new terms for things. Well, the guides are helping me. But it will be like soul sessions. We were calling them sacred soul sanctuary sessions, that I receive information and I can share it with you, and then you can apply it, whatever resonates to you, with whatever's unfolding in your life. We don't say you have to do these 5 things in order to be this. We don't have step by step. We don't have a linear process at the inner leader movement. So if you're interested in evolving your soul in a flow state with a circuitry of connection of above, within, and earth below, it's just a beautiful time to tap in to the power of your heart and the wisdom of your soul. And so check out our website. It's lisaaclayton.com. And then I'm forming a Patreon community of inner leaders. So you can join our Patreon community. It's very affordable. It's $6.99. I only have one tier at this time. I am going to bump up the tiers as 2025 unfolds, to offer more group sessions, question and answers sessions, more of that like that. I don't even like to use the word channeling, receiving information on the moment. That's a better way to say it because I'm not, well, we won't get into that right now. Okay. So check out our website and the Patreon community, and then this YouTube channel. And please pass on the messages that resonate with you to your friends and family so that we can ripple out the information from our heart's intuitive intelligence and our soul's wisdom. All right. Take good care. January has been an incredible start to the 2025 magical year. I do a lot of numerology also. So we're working with the power of nine this year in the inner leader movement, but it's really been a pretty wild start with the fires here in California and just lots of changes in our government, in our society, in our communities. It's unraveling. And we're here to hold the love, to hold the light, and to leave the codes of soul wisdom and the beautiful ancestry that we have from those wise ancients. It's just such a remarkable time to be here. I know that a lot of people don't look at it that way, but when you know within your heart and soul that you have the love and light to give, then it becomes a really adventurous journey. And so, anyway, tune in. I'll be on YouTube every week, every Thursday. Lindsay Don Quarter and I do a guided heart meditation for the Rainbow Activation Day, according to the galactical lunar calendar that we use. And I will be coming on more frequently. I won't have a set day. It'll just be when energy hits come through or information that I'm being guided to share. Okay, much love. Take good care, and I hope to hear from you. Okay, I'm excited.